Morning.
She said, see, you work too much. Since I was a kid, I knew I was the one. I hate the pain, but I keep showing up. I can never go back to the way that it was. Consistency is key, and that's what I'm all. Be disciplined now, regret when it's gone. Till I get up, that's the way to get strong. I built an altar and gave it
Morning, morning. How you doing?
and it still hasn't dropped. Went on a run and it still hasn't stopped. Picked up the gun, but it still hasn't shot. Just getting started, I'm still warming up. Stop back soon, so watch the clock. Watch the throne, watch the spot. You are what you think, so watch what you want. My life is a movie, I watch it a lot.
Be right with you. Might as well get my swig on. What you drinking? How you drinking your coffee? Black? Oh yeah. A lot of y'all drinking tea. I forgot. But for my coffee drinkers, let me know how you drink your coffee. Black, creamer with coffee. I think it was collagen. I kept saying a lot of people say collagen. I didn't know what that was at first, so I had to go ask somebody. It's all right if you don't know. If you don't know, it's all right. You ain't got to know everything. About to get started in a hot second. Morning. Oh, Miss Liz. I knew Miss Liz was gonna be in this joint. Top of the morning. Look, when we get these coffee mugs, these Leo coffee mugs, Liz gonna get the first one. From day one, y'all. From day one, my girl. Yahweh, Yahweh. All right. Honestly, I was just vibing out to that, let that ride out. But top of the morning, y'all. It's Wednesday. Happy Valentine's Day at the current time. And so if this re-aired, just know it was Valentine's Day when we shot this. But happy Valentine's Day to the singles and the lovers. Go celebrate your significant others, your boo, your side piece. All right. And if you got multiple dates today, don't take them to the same place. All right. I'm just saying. All right, let me stop being messy. Top of the day. I'm low key not jealous for real, y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Y'all have fun. And let me make sure I'm locked in. So it's working Wednesday. Today we're gonna chop it up on careers, jobs, business, ventures, so on and so forth. So with that being the case, that's what we're gonna chop it up on. And if you haven't joined Coffee with Leo and whatnot, if you haven't noticed by now, each day has its own segment. So Monday's Mindful Monday. This Monday coming up, since it's tax season and we're in the voting year, make sure you chime in because, it's going to be some wisdom and some nuggets on what to do with your taxes. You know what I'm saying? With some advice. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm just giving some tips. I came across somebody who wanted some wisdom on building their credit up. So it's going to be some tips on things you can do to build your credit, some things you need to do if you're looking to buy a car, what you want to spend your money on, if you're trying to pay credit down. So we're going to hit on those things on Monday, Mindful Mondays. Am I doing this thing right? Whatever that thing is, we're going to touch on it on Monday. So Mondays are Mindful Mondays, having the mentality, making decisions that impact your life. All right. Tuesdays is Lovely Tuesdays. To me, those been fire. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't about men versus women. It's a lot of principles that you can utilize in your relationships and with yourself. So Lovely Tuesdays is about relationships, self-love and shared love. So yesterday was something that I really put emphasis on about both self-love and shared love. Most people invest into shared love. Most people invest into connections and companionship, but rarely do they really work on self. And a consistent thing that I hear when I talk to my sisters are there are certain things that they don't like to do by themselves. Like I can go out and sit by myself, have lunch, dinner, brunch, whatever. It's a lot of sisters don't like to go out by themselves. They prefer to have company and prefer a man. So it's a lot of times they don't even want to go out with their girlfriend. They want a male companion. And so I realized for men, it's a little different for men going out by ourselves versus women. And this is something that's been consistent. So Lovely Tuesday addresses these type of things, as well as, different aspects. This Lovely Tuesday is going to be real, real good. I got a few things that I'm going to touch base on again. Today, Wednesday, working Wednesdays, careers, business, investment, things of that nature. I will be bringing individuals in for specific topics like investment that are a little bit more in depth than I myself. So the good Lord has blessed your boy with a level of intellect and wisdom and insight on some things. So I touch on what I know. So today we're going to touch on work-life balance. And if you're venturing into your own business, some aspects of what you can do. All right. And then Thursdays is Healthy Thursdays. So Healthy Thursdays is really focused on your physical health, your spiritual and mental as well, but, different health tips that you can utilize in your life, and then on Fridays, it's a recap in Ask Leo. So I touch more on Ask Leo. Ask Leo is a segment that I'm adding that anything that I touch base on throughout the week that you want clarity on, if there's something I haven't touched base on that you want my insight on, if there's a question, whatever. On Fridays, I have an Ask Leo segment, whereas I'll address the questions, that was sent to me. That's real simple. You can leave it in the comment section on the video. You can inbox me. Inboxing me is the best way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Shoot an inbox to me and let me know, hey, what are your thoughts on this? If it's if it's something going viral, send it to me. Ask me what are my thoughts on it. And on Fridays, it don't even have to do with my segments. But if it's something goofy, if it's a relationship, whatever it is, if you see a reel or a clip, and you want to know what my 2 cents is on it, send it to me, and then I'll address that on Fridays, Ask Leo segment. I think that's something that can be really fun, So if I'm too intellectual and deep for you and you want to have some fun, send me the clips. And then on Fridays, that'll be our relaxed day. Weekends are to prepare for the week ahead. We can go over the Ask Leo segment, and it can be as long as short as you want to. All right. So that's what this platform, Coffee with Leo, is all about. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that right now, this is the pilot stage. And what that means is as I get going and as you guys are rocking with me, there are some adjustments and some tweaks that will be made. I have a vision for where I see Coffee with Leo in the future. But for right now, the way that it's lined out is the way that we're rocking with for the time being. But there will be a change again. However, I love that you guys get up early in the morning. I love that you're going over to YouTube, subscribing so that you can catch the full unedited clips. Hint. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the blueprint of what we've been doing. The Did You Knows, the affirmations, the proverbs of the day, and what the main topic is about. So without further ado, the Did You Know. Now, these Did You Know segments, of course, I have to incorporate a little Black history. But as I said before, I noticed with my algorithms, I have people all over the country and all over the world rocking with me. I appreciate you guys. And because of that, and when I see these other countries, at first I thought it was some bogus. I thought it was robots or whatever. But these are actual people. They actually message me. They actually send blessings my way, let me know how much the content helps them. So with that, I decided to take an approach on what does work, business, and careers look like worldwide, not just in the US of A. And so I pulled out some fun facts about some different aspects about around the world that will align with what I want to talk about today. So, did you know nap rooms in Spain? It's common for companies to provide nap rooms for employees to take siestas and a short afternoon nap. This practice is believed to improve staff productivity and health and their well-being. Now, with this nap room in Spain, from my understanding, there are larger companies in the US that have started to adopt some of these principles and some of these things into their workplace. And so I believe in San Francisco, there are several Fortune 100 companies and top companies, Google, whatever the case may be, even Apple, that have incorporated some of these practices, which makes sense. They have some of the greatest minds around the world working for them. And I'm sure if you bring a collective group to the table to say, hey, how can we increase productivity? Most people will say, hey, in my country, this is what we do. Here are the results. All right. So I say this, if you have a business, make sure that you incorporate people who don't agree with you. If you have anything that you're doing, if you don't have people that don't agree with you, then your success is going to plateau and it's going to be limited. All right. This is from a business sense. Everything that I do, I make sure I have somebody who can tell me something. All right. Not to get off the subject, but when I started building my businesses, I have two good friends that I always kept close to me. And anytime I would go and I had to do this, always say, let me go ask my boss. All right. One of my two friends were always my boss in situations when I had to make certain decisions. All right. And so that case, whenever I had to make certain decisions and I would have to go ask one of my friends about something, I made sure that at the end of the day, hold on, look like I'm freezing a little bit. All right. So at the end of the day, I made sure that I had somebody that I was accountable to, no matter if it was one of those things, whereas I'm the final decision maker or whatnot, they never knew. Why? Because I had somebody to report to that didn't agree with everything I had to say. And I allowed them to communicate with me in a way to let me know, hey, yeah, nay, that's a good idea, whatever the case may be. So I love that companies in the US are adopting some of these principles outside of the country. So I think the nap room is really great. And I think more large companies need to incorporate this. All right. Did you know 4-day work weeks, all right, in Iceland? And they did a study in 2021. Iceland did a study in 2021 that made headlines that they did a 4-day work week trial. This experiment was successful, leading to increased worker well-being. All right. Now, there are people that I talk to in the nursing field, whatever the case may be, mostly in the nursing field, that they actually have 4-day work weeks. And so now, whether that's 10 hours, work shift, and then they have 3 days off, whatever the case may be, it has been proven that these 4-day work weeks work better than 5-day work weeks. And so that's another principle to create work-life balance. And so if you have the opportunity and whatnot, sometimes we look at 10 hours as, whoa, that's way too long to be working. However, depending on how long it takes you to get prepared for work, leave work, traffic, so on and so forth, sometimes you're sitting in traffic for an hour, 2 hours, So if that extra hour or two that you working, traffic would have died down and you could make it home around the same time anyway, and then you get a whole day, a whole another 24 hours to yourself, that's something to consider. If you have that option at work to work 4 days versus 5, there's something else that I know has been incorporated with some of the companies here in the US. So 4-day work weeks, keep that in mind. Long vacations. Now I know everybody and their mama watching agree with this one. All you see on Instagram are pics in Vacation Bay and whatever the case may be. And most dudes would appreciate the fact that if a woman has vacation time and she doesn't have this right here, so long vacations in France. I may be taking a trip and moving my business to France. get me a W-2 job. So France is known for its generous vacation policies. French workers typically enjoy 5 weeks of paid vacation per year, plus additional public holidays. All right, so just like we got MLK and we got certain holidays here that we take off for, Columbus Day, whatever you get paid for. Man, if you telling me you only getting maybe a week after so much time here in the US of A. And so they get 5 weeks to enjoy. And so when we traveling and we see a lot of French and people at certain places, this is why. We like, how can they afford to take that much time off of work? Right there on the screen. So, man, long vacations. It's healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? Did you know Dutch approach to work-life balance? The Netherlands is known, all right, for its emphasis on work-life balance. Dutch workers typically enjoy shorter work weeks, flexible work hours, and strong culture. All right. Also, before I go to the next one, I saw that Hawaii had something called like Hawaiian time. I wanted to do a little deeper research into the Hawaiian time and what that really meant. But from what I read so far, Hawaiian time is less strict about, punctuality and the time you get there. And, they're not strict on time and what you have to do while you're on the clock. I want to do a little bit more research, but that sounds like CP time to me. But anyway, that was one for Hawaii. I didn't put it on there because I didn't have the time to really dive into it and truly research it. So yeah, I saw that. That was interesting. So it's Black History Month as well. It's still February. So I would be remiss if I didn't put a couple of brothers in here. So, and I wanted to go the route that aligned with what we were talking about. So another did you know fact. Franklin Augustus Thomas Jr. became the first African-American to lead a major American corporation when he was appointed as the CEO of a multinational corporation, the First National Bank of New York, which is Citibank. So Citibank actually brought on the first person of color that was a brother as their CEO. So why do I bring this up? Right now, I tip my hat to my sisters. Right now, if you look at it, it's obvious. Sisters are outpacing brothers by miles. And I don't have any quarrels about it. I love my sisters. I appreciate you guys. Right now, sisters are getting opportunities to run companies, to move into front offices. They have a higher rate of education. I love it. However, I really want to look at when was our opportunity to first lead, because I've made points in other videos that we don't see a lot of us as brothers, as CEOs, as presidents, vice presidents, so on and so forth. And still, all these years later, we still don't have a lot of representation in the front office. However, shout out to my brother becoming the first CEO of Citibank. All right. Now, also, P.F. Chang. All right. My brother, Mr. Damola. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but did you guys know that currently, I believe he was 33 at the time. I don't know if he's 34 now, but P.F. Chang has his first brother as a CEO. And if you know anything about P.F. Chang, it's a chain, an Asian chain, of culture food. Now, I like P.F. Chang. I was going to P.F. Chang before this brother took over. I remember P.F. Chang when there were struggles and they started downsizing and closing locations. I've been going to P.F. Chang a long time. Now, I would tell you, if you go to P.F. Chang, the menu has been tweaked a little bit. And the atmosphere, the decor, when you go in there, it has a touch of urbanist to it. But my brother, he's Nigerian. He's well traveled, been all around the world. I myself, I'm from Illinois, and I have family that's from Springfield, Illinois. He resided in Springfield at one point. I have family ties to Nigerian culture. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I got to shout this brother out. So if you haven't already Googled his brother, look him up. Young brother doing his thing. And for P.F. Chang to bring a brother to lead the charge, to resurrect, their franchise and bring them back to relevance is amazing. You see new locations popping up. If you haven't dined in yet, the atmosphere is definitely different. The the menus, the lunch specials, you know. And so it's a brother that took charge. And I applaud them for giving that brother an opportunity to really shine. And so those were the did you knows for Working Wednesday. Had to throw a little Black history in there. It's Black history every day. You know what I'm saying? But for February, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Thus my attire today. So with that being said, I'm gonna move forward with the affirmations. All right. Again, like I said, this is probably one of my favorite aspects of Coffee with Leo. These affirmations, you know what I'm saying? So as you see on the screen, as I take my sip. All right, set your atmosphere. All right, I say this in almost every video. Set the atmosphere of your day before your day meets you. And so have a journal. Write these down. You know what I'm saying? So some of these gonna be repeated. Most of these are repeats. All right. However, I just start off with a different one that resonates with what we're talking about today. All right, which is I will implement better work-life balance. All right. That's taking charge of your gift. That's taking charge of your time. I will do a segment on next Wednesday on what that looks like, how to implement work-life balance. And so that's something that most people need to learn. Don't rely on your job to create opportunities, rules, and systems for you. All right. There's a contract. Look at where you work at as a contract. You signed an agreement. If you hadn't read through your paperwork when you signed on with a company, it's essentially a contract. There's a contract of an exchange of service and compensation. There are rules to this exchange. All right. Know the benefits on both sides. All right. Your gift is a benefit to them. Your time is a benefit to them. There are certain aspects. That's what HR is there for. HR is there really to protect the company, not you. Understand that. All right. Some people go into HR complaining and not understanding HR loyalty and responsibilities is to the company to protect them from legal matters from you. All right. So if you're constantly stressing and whatnot, I have a whole slide for you. If you want to start your own business, move on from them, I have a whole slide for you. So stay tuned for that. However, understand work-life balance starts with you. Start with you using wisdom on what you do. If they ask you to stay over extra hour or whatnot, don't feel pressure to bully. You know what I'm saying? If you have obligations outside of that company, you have obligations. Use wisdom with everything you do. All right. So as I gave you a whole list of what other countries are doing, not just companies, whole countries are implementing systems to make sure that their people, their citizens are healthy emotionally, mentally. All right. The US has probably some of the most stressed out people because we're overworking ourselves and we're undercompensated. So understand work-life balance starts with you. Your ability to say no, your ability to manage your schedule, your time, take care of your babies, take care of you. All right. So I will implement better work-life balance. All right. I'm going to get back to that. Next week, there's going to be back on there because I'm going to go over some other strategies and ways to do it legally and safe where you don't get fired. All right. Doors are opening for me. All right. There's always opportunities, man. A lot of times we really don't tune in to what opportunities. Sometimes we operate in fear so much so that when something happens for us, when we gravitate and grab a hold to something, sometimes we're afraid of taking that opportunity that's in front of us. And sometimes we limit God to whatever blessing that we currently have or had. We feel like that's the last blessing he's going to give us. The last situation he rescued us from, sometimes we act like that's the only time that God is going to come through for us. All right. So as doors open up for you, be open to walking through those doors. All right. I am an inspiration to others. Sometimes you're the only Jesus some people are going to see. Sometimes you're the only inspiration. You know, again, I heard something. I think it was a Jay-Z quote that he said to somebody, but it resonates. And that man said, it was a guy sitting on the curb with no shoes, complaining that he didn't have any shoes until he looked across the street and saw a man with no feet. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we look at situations and we look at ourselves as if it's impossible for us to inspire somebody. because we know ourselves, we know our situations. Sometimes we deny ourselves from being a blessing to people. But keep in mind, you're blessed to be a blessing without a shadow of a doubt. It don't matter who you are, where you at, your gender, your hue, whatever. You're blessed to be a blessing. And somebody's looking at you and looking up to you and saying, man, I appreciate you. You may not feel like it because you may not be where you want to be, but you're an inspiration. I have a brother right now fighting some health issues. I won't put his name out on the wavelength. But the fact that he's still fighting and haven't given up, there's somebody that's looking at you, brother, and saying, man, you haven't given up on this battle with this health. And we see what it's done. And the fact that you haven't given up and you're still fighting and you've been close enough to where you could have threw in the towel, man, that's an inspiration. That shows the fight in you, brother. All right, I love you, bro. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit you up. And so understand, you're an inspiration. We look at our situations and we undermine ourselves to the point where we don't understand when we are hit with life and we going through certain struggles, the fact that we didn't throw in the towel and we can still keep moving. You know what I'm saying? It ain't fake it till you make it. You're actually handling your problem. You handling your problem is inspiring somebody else not to give up. I have a whole clip that I'm going to share with you guys one day that I put together. And there's a poem that's wrote with it and everything, you know, of different celebrities, you know, that threw in the towel at some point for whatever reason. All right. And so I'm not going to put the title out there yet because I don't want nobody to jack me for it. But I got a whole poem that's going to go with this. And I'm going to have to share it with the world because somebody needs to see it. All right. Somebody needs to see you. All right. So pat yourself on the back, applaud yourself, shake it off, and understand you're an inspiration to somebody. All right. Failure is sometimes necessary to succeed. I'm restarting from experience. On the last Working Wednesday, I gave you guys a whole list of celebrities who didn't start off until their 40s. A number of celebrities, a number of CEOs, a number of notable people who didn't break through until after 40, after 60, so on and so forth. And they did decades and generations of grinding. All right. So as long as you don't give up and you fail, you've gained knowledge, you've gained experience, you learned what worked and what didn't work. In my last job, I'm gonna tell you, this is something I learned about myself. I wouldn't have learned any other way. I went into a place and went into a whole different region, a whole different surrounding. And what worked in one arena didn't work in another arena. It wasn't because of my method or whatever the case may be, because the surroundings and the atmosphere calls for a different energy. And sometimes when you go through those situations and you learn firsthand, that's better than sitting in front of somebody giving you spoon feeding you. So just like they say, eat the fish, spit out the bone. And then just like babies start with milk and then they grow, they adapt into solids and whatever, same thing. We're human. All right. That's going to be the Leoism of the week. I'm going to share it with you. I don't want to get too far ahead, but understand failure isn't the end of a thing. All right. It's only the beginning of something new. All right. So each day offers me a new chance to shine. All right. So each day offers me a new day to shine. Shine bright, B. Shine bright, queen. Every day you have, when that sun comes out, you know what I'm saying? You got just as much opportunity to shine just like that sun. You can choose the direction you want to go. You can choose how you start your day off. That's why these affirmations are here. Your brother telling you. I did a 14-day consecration, and I did a video journal on it. I'm gonna share that with you too one day. So I did a 14-day video journal. I had affirmations. I had things that I was praying on. I shared with about 7 people. Hey, unite in prayer with me. These are the things your boy's trying to accomplish and get back on track on. And when your boy put that into motion, these affirmations was a part of it. Every day. Did it 14 days. Bow, fasted. And when I tell you, broke every chain. Broke every chain. And if you don't know what fasting is, you don't know how to do it, hit me up. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you some principles on how to fast if you need that. All right. But understand, each day gives you an opportunity to shine. So these affirmations, you can either go into your day already dragging, overwhelmed, and stressed, or you can say, you know what? Pause, take a seat. I got this. I decide to smile. I decide to make somebody else's day brighter. You know what I'm saying? My energy gonna be different. It works. And for the last one, I'm attracting great opportunities. All right. Understand like this. Working in sales, and I talked to somebody that's in sales, and I explained to them, and they also acknowledge, if you're trying to sell something to somebody and you're talking to somebody, a lot of times they can feel your energy. And sometimes if you wonder why something ain't working, you know what I'm saying? People know if you're under the gun to get something done and whatnot. And one of the worst things to do is feel pressure and make somebody else feel the pressure you're under. And a lot of times that energy that's out there is going to negate you from something you're working hard to accomplish, because the energy is wrong. You're not happy. You're not energetic. They don't feel good about partnering with you on something. Somebody know if you're really struggling and whatnot, you don't have to tell them. Your energy, your eye contact, whatever, your emotions, all of that plays a role. And they know, they're like, yeah, something off. Something off. Like, I want to help you, but something off. All right. Check yourself at the door. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you exert positive energy. Make sure you get in alignment with the Holy Spirit and the Father, so that your energy and your atmosphere is shifted into a place where you can welcome the blessings and the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? God don't want to be sending opportunities for you, and then when they come, you're afraid. You're like, You know what I'm saying? You're doing Bruce Lee chops. So everything coming your way because you're afraid. Where fear is in, faith is out. Drop the fear. So when these opportunities come, you ain't a chump about them. I almost said something else, but I don't want to get censored on here. All right. So your boy still hood in some ways. And so I try to polish that a little bit. I know y'all be seeing the church guy. But you know what I'm saying? Off camera sometimes, hey, what Toby say, try Jesus, don't try me. So it's still that East St. Louis side in me. But I try to, balance that out a little bit. And so that's it for the affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself an applause for sitting through those. Use some of them. You know what I'm saying? If not all of them. Whatever applies to you, put that in the journal so you don't forget it. You know what I'm saying? These affirmations have done nothing but miraculous feats for me in life. So, affirmations. All right. Proverb of the day. So before we get to the commercial break, I got the proverb of the day and the Leoism and all of that. And so proverbs of the day. Again, these proverbs, there's a proverb for every day of the month. You know what I'm saying? Use them. You know what I'm saying? There's wisdom in every one of them. So Proverbs 14:1. The wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. But the foolish one who lacks spiritual insight tears it down with her own hands. All right. I'm going to leave this up there for a second. I'm going to let the word speak for itself. All right. And so in all you're getting, get understanding and understand. In certain Lovely Tuesdays, this fits Lovely Tuesdays and it fits today. You know what I'm saying? Understand what you speak. Understand that you have the authority and the power to either build your house or tear it down. All right. So there's a proverb for every day of the week. If you want to get back into reading the word and you don't know where to start, you don't know how to find what you're looking for, just start with Proverbs. You know what I'm saying? Start with one verse and whatnot. And if you need more insight, inbox me. I'll give you some strategies on how to move forward with getting the word in. All right. The Leoism of the week. What's the Leoism? All right. So Leoism is pretty much little things that I say. You just like I just said one not too long ago. Whether I heard it, whether it's a quote, whether it's a phrase. So most of the times, Leoism pretty much are phrases. Phrases that pop up in my head, phrases I've been saying for years, phrases that I borrowed from other individuals. But more importantly, these phrases have been nothing but a blessing to me as well. So the Leoism of the week, not the day, this Leoism has applied to everything so far. So Leoism of the week, I'm human. I don't use that as an excuse. I use it as a reminder. All right. Now, why is it for the week? Because it's applying to everything we're talking about every day this week. And not just this week. Write that down, man. You ain't even got to call it a Leoism. You can share it as your own. You know what I'm saying? I just had to share with y'all. Now, I'm human. I don't use this as an excuse. I use it as a reminder. Work-life balance, you're human. You're not a machine. All right. That's why that's why all these Walmarts and all these stores are bringing in these machines for people to self-check out. Sometimes we get up there and somebody just moving extra slow, and we in the checkout line for an hour. We in the checkout line longer than it took us to go find what we needed out the store, because people are dog tired or they're not moving quick enough. Whatever the case, you're not a machine. All right. You have feelings, you have emotions. All right. So don't overdo it. Like I said, work-life balance is needed. You're a human being. You got a family in most cases. And even if you don't have children, you still got family. You know what I'm saying? You got siblings or parents or cousins or somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got ministry. There's something that God wants you to do outside of trying to collect a check. And here in the US, we underpaid anyway if we solely work for somebody else. All right. So understand, I don't use this as an excuse. I use it as a reminder. All right. Take your vacation time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say yes and stay over every time. Take your sick days. If every end of the year you're ending the year with sick days and vacation time, all right, you're not investing into your well-being and your health. Take some time off. It's okay. That's what those days are for. You know what I'm saying? If you got a slight cough, don't push to go in there. Take care of your body. Your body's telling you something is off. So if you got a slight cough and whatnot, take that sick day. Use your time to take care of you and yours. You're human. All right. I can't say this enough. In every aspect of what I do, I explain. Even with men, there are 3 areas as men we have to serve within our families. Spiritual leaders. We got to contribute financially, and we got to be present. Present mentally, emotionally, and physically. All right. You can't do that if you're constantly always at work. You know what I'm saying? If you're working 80 hours a week, yeah, you're paying bills and you provide financially. But how do we know our daughters are not being caught up by some older pervert? Whatever the case may be. There's so many aspects to this. How do we know the significant other? Our wives, our ladies, that they're not feeling lost in the sauce because you're never present. All right. It's great that you can buy a bag, go on vacation, but you still need all those 3 elements. You need to be able to pray over them. You need to be able to see them and intercede and discern when something is off. All of these elements. So I'm human. I don't use that as an excuse. I use it as a reminder. So don't try to work like you're a machine. All right. There's another segment, High Fire Retired. One day you have to go. There's going to be something I'm going to touch on, in another aspect of this. So work-life balance. All right. Hold on. So that was the Leoism of the day. Slow down. I got excited there. Commercial break. All right. So take a breather so that you understand where we at. So normally this is where I invite you guys to go over to YouTube, subscribe, so you can catch the full length videos. But I won't harp on that because I believe good content is good content. And if you want it, you'll rock with it. So what I'm going to do is move forward. I've already explained at the top of the video what each day is for and how to move forward. And so without further ado, I'm gonna move forward so that you guys get these nuggets that the good Lord gave me to give to you. All right. So with this, what I'm presenting now is don't quit your job. All right. So don't quit your job. This is something whereas work-life balance, I have to be balanced with this. I can't tell you all these factors about, work-life balance, and I don't give you wisdom on how to navigate from one spot to the next. So this right here, and I will share it, on the gram and on the book, whatnot after I'm done. But work-life balance and navigating can be challenged. We all have wanted to throw in the towel and just quit. But wait, what if you're saying it wrong? You know what I'm saying? So, wow, check this out. So don't just quit your job. I'm going to tell you like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go and tell somebody Leo said that, they're not treating us. No. Leo going to give you some wisdom. And like I said, this will be on the book and on the gram. So don't just quit your job. What do? All right. It can be frustrating. It can be, but hold on, let me give you some tips. All right. Frustrations and pressure. Learn from the frustrations of the job. It's possible that you're the solution. Understand with everything that you do with work and career, they hired you for a reason. They interviewed you. They saw what your skills and gifts were. And they, in some cases, both of y'all were super excited. You told the whole world, man, I just got a new job. They hired me. They saw something in you that said, yes, this person can do this job. And they probably can do it very well. And what you're being compensated is actually under budget. So you have to use other sites. It'll come to me later, but there are sites where you can go in and see, what those positions truly pay. That way you're not allowing yourself to be underpaid. But more importantly, find out what the frustration is. Sometimes you're frustrated because that's an area that grieves you because you know the right way to do it. All right. Identify your why. Understand the connection from job to job. What's your specialty, your gift that you're being developed from? These experiences shapes us, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand anything that you do when you're trying to build a business, whatever the case may be, there's a why. When somebody asks you, what is it you can do for free that you don't even have to think about? I can talk forever, ever. People always tease me about having the gift of gab, being able to talk. All right. I know I can talk. I know I can explain things. Sometimes even in personal conversations, I just go into details because I know if I try to shorten certain answers, they're going to ask another question and that's going to ask another question. So I just go ahead and explain it all. Here you go. A, B, C, here are all the bullet points to what I want to explain. So sometimes that's not necessary and it is not necessary to be that formal. However, I identified my why. I identified a specialty and a gift that I have, something that I can do that people tell me all the time, man, you drop gym after gym after gym. All right, make sure that you're taking care of yourself through that. So understand your why. Whatever is frustrating you, whatever you're on the job for, whatever the reason they hired you, understand that's an area that you can invest into yourself. Whether you need to go to school, YouTube is the greatest school if you don't want to go back to college. All right, but identify your why, make an investment of 15 minutes a day researching your why and how to sharpen that area. Create a manual and a system. Document what you know. Document what you're learning. Document what not to do. Sometimes we see things on the job. We complain. We make statements about, man, this company sucks because of this, this, and that. Document that. What not to do. What you would do different if you had a company. There are different programs that they have that, and tools that the company have that you can learn from. And you're like, oh, wow, I like how they did this. Prime example, when I started my first business at 14. All right, 14, I started my first business. So when I first started my first business, what I did was I had landscaping business and snow removal. And I was making money hand over fist. But I also didn't know what to do next. I didn't know marketing at the time. I didn't know anything about running a business. All I knew was the labor part. Go cut the grass, go shovel the snow, pick my money up on the weekends. So what I started doing as a kid, once I turned 16, I actually went to a grocery store. Snooks was the grocery store back home. And I took my first job, my first W-2 job, so that I can learn how did they manage? How did they do certain things? How did managers operate versus the workers and whatnot? What are they looking at? So I started notating these. So throughout my whole life of careers, I always did both. I always had a business and had a W-2. And I always learned from the W-2 some things that I can implement into my business. And then there were some things that I learned independently and created on my own that I've incorporated into my W-2 jobs. So much so that I would be able to do things and make connections. And they would ask, how did you learn that? How did you get to that? Now, proprietary information. You didn't pay me for this information. You paid me for my skills and service. So understand, you better document some stuff and get paid for it. That's just like the red hot, the Cheetos, the flaming hot Cheetos. That Hispanic brother that came up with that sauce and whatnot. If you haven't watched them, they made a whole movie on it. So that was proprietary ingredients that he came up with to create a whole segment of the chip industry. Flaming Hots are on everything now. But that came from a brother that took something where he was in that factory, he realized the sales was down, and he had a solution to it. And that's what you have to realize. You're a solution to something. Even if it's not with the current company, there's a need. There is never not a need. The world is full of situations and things that needs your solution. All right. So create your manual. Start writing it down. Create a journal. Start and register your why. Start a service or a business from what you're learning while still keeping that job. Don't leave your job. All right. Whatever it is, document it. Get an EIN number. Register it with your state. Before you let the whole world know your big idea, protect it. Protect it. All right. Get with a business attorney, a tax preparer. Get with some people that really do this. You know what I'm saying? If you really believe in what you got, protect it. It's going to be a moment you're excited and you want everybody to know what you're about to do. But there are vultures out there. There are people that you have to learn a non-compete agreement. You have to know what an NDA is. You have to know when God give you your why, he also expects you to protect it. All right. Guard it like it's a baby. The same way newborns that come into this world and we hold them a certain way. We hold their heads and protect them. Your business, your vision is a baby. Protect it. It's not ready for the world. All right. You need to nurture your vision. You need to nurture your business. And I get into that some more on the stages of your business. Even when you launch your business, you also have to look at your new launch business as a child that still needs to be looked after and told when it can cross the street, look how to look left and right. All right. So understand, register it and protect it. Hired, fired, or retired. One day you have to leave anyway. It's just a matter of time. Whether you get hired with another company that's going to compensate you more, give you different benefits, better benefits, a different package. Whether you get fired and terminated, laid off because of cutbacks, whatever the reason. Whether you finish and you retire. One day you have to go. And that work-life balance that you had or didn't have, you're going to reflect on it. All right. That business, that vision that you either started or didn't start, you're going to reflect on it. All right. The grave that we see is full of potential and dreams that people never started on. All right. It can be something that was passed on to you. So understand, hired, fired, or retired, one day you got to go. So understand work-life balance in its full capacity that you definitely want to take care of you. All right. Ask God to identify the season. Identify the difference between a toxic environment versus a training ground. All right. What I mean by that. All right. So you have some workspaces. Yeah, you got gossiping. You got all type of things that you feel is toxic. You got people sleeping with people throughout the office and whatnot. You got that in every capacity. You got that everywhere you go, even in the church. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but God didn't do it. These are people doing it. All right. So know the difference. So don't let people run you off when they're gossiping, when they're bullying, when they're doing certain things. Understand, is it just a toxic environment that you need to escape, or is it a training ground where sometimes God is trying to work something in or out of you? For me, he worked some things out of me and incorporated some things in every job that I've ever had because I was present enough. And that's what Be Still is. Be Still isn't just not moving, it's being present, allowing God to show you something and being able to receive it. So again, these can be HR rules and things that you can document. How do you think rules and systems are created? By mistakes, by lawsuits, by things to protect the person. So a training ground is just that, especially if you're looking to navigate into a different job position, a different career field, launch your own. Document certain things. What works, what doesn't work, what they implemented and why. You know, sometimes you're under great leaders that have implemented great systems. They adopted those systems from their corporate place. Your job is going to, and I've gotten this from my previous pastor, and I always said it. Your job is going to hire and fire you by the rule book. That book that you sign, that employee handbook, is what they're going to make decisions off of. Understand it. Read. Learning is fundamental. All right. So when you identify your season where you're at, you'll know if you're supposed to leave or not. You'll know if something is for you. Everything can't be about the financial aspect. Be responsible, be accountable, pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? But know the difference. You won't really know if you're only focused on one aspect. But when you sit still and you get aligned, God will show you when the door is opening up. Remember, you just spoke that affirmation that doors are opening up for you. All right. So when these doors or opportunities open, you have to know if you're being led astray. All right. If it's the big bad wolf, or if that's truly God. So there's a difference. Sometimes we can be tempted with opportunities because it looked good, or the compensation looked good, or whatever. And then you get over there and you wish you would have stayed where you was at. How they say the grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So sometimes it may not even be a toxic environment. It may be a training ground that you need to water yourself. Sometimes we need humility. Sometimes we're the problem. Sometimes we look at situations that is not serving us. Sometimes we're not serving the situation well. So understand, if you're part of the toxic environment, or if it's a training ground, it's so many directions I can go with this. I hope you get my point. Know when to pivot. Pivot and hire yourself from your job once your business is in a position to do so. Just because you go register a business name doesn't mean you have a business. You're not ready to jump out the boat and get right into it immediately. Understand when and how to pivot. All right. It's going to be a time when your project, your business, your vision start bringing in some funds. The moment it start bringing in funds isn't time. You have to know numbers. You have to budget. You have to have an accountant. You have to pay the business first. You have to take care of whatever investments, taxes, and all of that. You are the last person to get paid in the business. You can't do it in reverse and say, okay, I made 70,000 this month. All right. Look at your expenses. Look at taxes. Look at how this is going to be divided up. If you have staff, help, whatever, look at any equipment and the investments. There's so many factors. We just had COVID. All right. When it's businesses that shut down that never recovered because they didn't have a system. All right. They didn't have a savings account and whatnot. It's just like most people that live check to check. You can't do your business that way. All right. Invest into your business. Build the business credit so that once you're making that money and you're managing it properly, when you go to get a business loan, they'll be like, okay, we see that you did well with it. God is going to see that. And he's like, okay, I see you managed that well. You did very well with that. So you will know when it's time to pivot away from a job. But when you register a job, that's not the time to just dip and say, hey, okay, now. You have to understand the difference. Registering a business isn't becoming a business owner per se. There are steps that goes into becoming a business owner. Registering is just a part of it. That's just a step. But there are so many dynamics. There are so many rules to what to do with the funds once they come in so that your business is sustainable. I've seen great examples from business owners, and most of the business owners that had the most success, they were present in their business. They worked in their business. They didn't just register something and put some family, some friends, and some staff in there and leave them to run it. All right. Your business is a living vessel. And when I hit on that in next week's episode of Working Wednesday, I will speak more about your business being a living vessel. As I said, your vision is a baby. You have to nurture it. It needs milk. Once you register it and launch it, it's a child. You still got to guide it. You still got to tell it what to do. All right. So it's not ready for you to pivot away from that business to full-time entrepreneurship away from your job if you currently have one. So you got to know the difference. All right. And that's it for this post. That's it for this slide. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to share this slide on the gram. I'm going to share this slide on the book. Go back, watch this video on this slide. You know what I'm saying? For the details of each one. Again, if you need more clarity, let me know, because at the end of the day, it's definitely something that you I see as useful. And like I said, work-life balance, it can be challenging. You know what I'm saying? And challenging in the sense that not all people know how to cope. It can be very stressful. And so, with that being said, that looks like that's about my time, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Ask Leo. What's Ask Leo? For every day of this week, I got a different segment. Monday's Mindful Monday. I got some good stuff for y'all Monday. All right. It's tax season. What should I do? Along with some other great topics. Lovely Tuesdays. So I don't want to come off as a pandering person. I'm not going to side with men or women. I'm more about accountability. I'm more about solutions. There are surface situations and issues. There's a source of where it stems from, and then there's a solution. But you can't get to the solution unless you really understand the source. All right. And then once you find the solution, it's continual work. So, Lovely Tuesdays is more about healthy relationships, family, friends, and companionship. It's not about pandering. It's not about painting men versus women. It's not about high value, low value, self-love and shared love. We got to share love with our relatives, with our family, with our children, with ourselves. All right. What Wednesdays, working Wednesdays, careers, business, employment, all type of things, resumes, whatever the case may be. On a business tip, we're going to go over those strategies. I believe, go back if you didn't catch this video from the beginning. There's some great pointers on work-life balance from around the country and here. All right. Thursdays, healthy Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that I can say about healthy Thursdays. I got a special guest that I'll be doing a recording for the following Thursday. And I believe you're going to enjoy what she brings to the table. I'll be doing this Thursday tomorrow by myself, but healthy Thursdays, you know what I'm saying? Everything from dietary advice, hydration, fitness, things that you can do. And then health starts with your mental. There's a spiritual aspect of health. There's a mental aspect of health. And then there's the frame. There's your temple. All right. So some things I'm going to continue to repeat. Why? Because we're learning. If I say something one time, you're going to take it bye-bye. All right. So, and then Fridays is the recap. That's where the Ask Leo come in. Ask Leo can be anything from a reel that you've seen. Share that reel with me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know my 2 cents and my opinion on it, on Friday, Ask Leo. I'm going to address it. If there's something that I said throughout the week and you need more clarity on it, Ask Leo. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the case may be, it doesn't have to be something I presented. It can be something that I said. It can be a correction. If I presented something and it was inaccurate on Fridays, it'll be a day to correct it. You know what I'm saying? If I got something wrong, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not above, you know what I'm saying, having to be right and correct. I say this all the time. Let your boy know. On Fridays, I'll let the world know, hey, you know what? This is what I said on this segment. I stand corrected. It's brought to my attention, looked into it. Here we go. So utilize that Ask Leo. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that, and if you want to remain anonymous, you don't want me to post who asked it, whatever, that's cool too. But if you got a question, you want some insight, ask your boy. That's what I'm here for. So without further ado, again, this was a great segment. I appreciate you guys chiming in. If you didn't catch the whole thing, Balancing Life with Leo Richards over on the tube. It's in my bio. Go to the bio and about the link to the pages in my bio. Spiritual, mental, lifestyle in that order. Appreciate you guys joining in for another segment. I see you in the morning, 7 a.m. sharp. Early is on time is late. Peace.